we are still busy with the seasons. And I was praying for winter season to come. And Friday, it started getting cold. So if you felt it, blame me. We prayed. No, I'm just kidding. God has a funny way of dealing with us and surprising us. And my son told me Thursday night, he said, Dad, it's going to be in the 40s tomorrow. I said, what? Can't be. It was 70 odd the day before, close to 80. But Friday morning showed up with 45 degrees. And there we were in the heart of winter. Isn't that the way life is? Joy summer, we enjoy spring, we enjoy summer, we enjoy the autumn, and then all of a sudden, winter shows up. So as we talk through spiritual growth through changing seasons, I want to deal with the feeling spiritually bankrupt. And I mainly want to deal with winter, the winter season. It's a strange season, the season of winter. Not everybody loves it. Not everybody hates it. I especially think of the people who wait for December, January to go skiing. Oh, they can't wait for January. They want the Colorado mountains to be filled with snow. Tahoe in California, fill those mountains with snow. We want to ski. But not everybody loves that. Not everybody hates it. However, it is a crucial part of God's ordering of the seasons. Winter can present us with barrenness, cold and frigid feelings, and icy winds and freezes, and naked branches, and heavy clothing, and long nights, and short days, and colds, and flus, and lots of doctor's visits, and a rare once-in-a-while smile from the sun. And the sun is just there to say, hi, I'm here for a little bit and then I'll be gone. That's winter. Not all skies are gray in the winter season. There are the occasional sparks of sunlight joy. And then there's a snippet of Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and Super Bowls and Valentines, etc. But all of those little summer sparks are enveloped by the cold of winter. I think it's noteworthy that the winter season does give us time to do some reflection. Indoors, sit next to each other with blankets, and just reflect and invest time to assess how we are handling and navigating this very bossy season of life. And asking the question perhaps, what is it that the Creator of all the season wants to teach me during this time to shape my heart for deeper spiritual growth? You see, God knows me. He knows you. He knows exactly what we need at the right time. And sometimes we don't appreciate that. We don't like that. We don't want the winters in our lives. But God knows us best. In fact, Psalm 115:3 says this, our God is in heaven and He does whatever He pleases. Because He knows us. He knows exactly what you and I need in the time that we need it. And so here's a psalm, Psalm 88, that teaches us a lot about the winter season. And the sons of Korah were in that season. It's on the screen for you. Let's read it together. I don't want you to read with me, just listen closely to the psalm. Read it on the screen. Lord, you are the God who saves me, the psalmist would say. Day and night, I cry out to you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. Now listen to the underlined words in the psalm. I am overwhelmed with troubles, and my life draws near to death. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I'm like one who's without strength. I'm set apart with the dead, like the slain who lie in the grave, whom you remember no more, who are cut off from your care. You have put me in the lowest pit, in the darkest depths. Your wrath lies heavily on me. You have overwhelmed me with all of those waves. You have taken from me my closest friends and have made me repulsive to them. I am confined and cannot escape. My eyes are dim with grief. I call to you, Lord, every single day. I spread out my hands to you. And now the psalmist, in the pit of darkness, in the pit of despair, in the throes of trouble, have these questions for God. Do you show your wonders in the dead or to the dead? Do their spirits rise up and praise you? Is your love declared in the grave, your faithfulness in destruction? Are your wonders known in the place of darkness? Are your righteous deeds in the land of oblivion? But I cry to you for help, Lord. In the morning my prayer comes before you. Why, Lord, do you reject me and hide your face from me? That's a cry of winter. That's a cry in winter. That's a cry that says, where are you, God? That's a cry that asks the question, why me? Why are you allowing this to happen to me? I'll give you a little bit of background in Psalm 88. A very renowned scholar, the name of Walter Brueggemann. He's an Old Testament scholar, very bright guy, knows the scriptures very well, teaches the Psalms, and has gone through this particular psalm with this statement. And this psalm is an embarrassment to conventional faith. He said that. This psalm is an embarrassment to conventional faith. And he asks, what is a psalm like this even doing in our Bibles? Now, this is a bright man, I guess he's a D.Th, which is a doctor of theology, if not a PhD. And he's puzzled by this psalm. He's puzzled by the questions in the psalm. And I'm going to remind Walter Brueggemann that this is a winter song. As much as we have all of the celebrations and the praises in the Psalms, Walter, this is a winter song. And like any other season, spring, summer, autumn, we have winter, Walter. It's a season God created. It's a season that's necessary. In fact, it's essential for life. Sometimes we need winter seasons in our lives. Yes, Walter. It does break the devastating silence of a heart that is confused, Walter, and that is in pain, Walter, and wishes for God to show up. Yes. And it is a psalm of disappointment. It's a psalm that showcases a heart that feels the bitter cold of winter, Walter. But this psalm is a necessary psalm to let us know that yes, and even though you may go through your springtime, you may go through your summertime, you may go through an autumn time, winter may come your way. We have a term in psych for the acronym SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. It's a kind of depression. That's not totally clinical depression. Clinical depression is really not just caused majorly by outward circumstances, but it's majorly caused by what happens inside a person. Could be a variation of crazy hormones, could be a genetic condition that a person has received from ancestors, etc. This seems more like an SAD, seasonal affective disorder kind of psalm. It's not going to last forever. It won't perhaps come every year or every 2 years. It happens sometimes, and the skies are dark. It's all bleak. Everything looks dismal. It looks like there's no way forward. There's no way out. I mean, you're surrounded by death and the grave and all of the sadness. Sometimes we need that. And it's in those times when God is saying to me, when God is saying to you, yes, the skies may be dark, but it won't always be dark. You may feel the pain and the loneliness right now, as Sister Ann does, as Linda's sister does, who just lost her husband a few days ago. Suddenly, within 2 minutes, he was gone. I just had breakfast with a guy a month ago in Cape Town, sitting across from him in a place called Wimpy's. And today he's gone. And her sister this morning sent her a note and said he couldn't sleep. Sleepless nights. An unbelievable dark pain inside. It's the winter season that's now upon her and upon others who have lost loved ones. But it's not always going to be that way. The sons of Korah who wrote the song, the authors of the song, they usually write praise and worship and God-glorifying songs. That's normally the tenor of their psalms, the subject matter in their psalms. But here they are. After having written Psalm 84, a psalm of celebration in worship, that the sparrows even rejoiced. And Psalm 87, a psalm for protection and provision and praising God for all of that. Yet now, in the psalm, there's doom and gloom and murmurs and sadness because they're in the heart of winter. And I'm warning us as the church, we may experience some of those seasons, or this particular season. You and I may get there. You may be in it at some point in time. But I want to remind us that there's a time for everything. And for every season under the sun. When I did the introduction, I read Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and we went through that to say there is a time for everything and every season under the sun. God created the seasons, He created life, and He knows exactly which life needs what when. And here they are. And so the winter season, let's talk a little bit about what does that feel like. What does the winter season feel like? The winter season feels like light is absent. Light is absent. Everything is so dark. Verse 1. Oh Lord, the God who saves me. Day and night I cry out before you. May my prayer come before you. Turn your ear to my cry. My soul is full of trouble. Verse 6 says, you have put me in the lowest pit, in the darkest depths. Darkness is surrounding me. Darkness is engulfing me. You have put me in the lowest pit of darkness. It just feels like light is absent. The winter season will always feel like there's forever darkness. And it sounds like God was always absent, never available. But we know better. God's always present. In our light, in our darkness, God is always present. He's never unavailable. But the winter season is bossy and dominant. And during those winter times, God's sunshine and goodness can so easily be forgotten. Winter tries to eclipse all of the goodness stored within us that God has provided us with in the past. We forget about that. When all of these storms are upon us, we forget that God never changes. He's always the same. And no winter can ever eclipse the goodness of God towards you and towards me. Can never do that. Because He's our God. And I just want to encourage us during those winter times. And I wish Linda's sister would hear this too. During those winter times, it may be good to open the blinds, open the curtains, sometimes open the windows, and look up at the heavens. You know, when people are depressed, and I've worked with a lot of depressed people, they close themselves off from the world. They close up everything. And they go inside. And our advice to them is usually go outside, do something, get active, find sunlight somewhere. Find it. And from a spiritual perspective, when we are in our winter seasons, it's good sometimes to open things up and look up at the heavens and tell me what you see. The glorious creation of God, who created all of the seasons. And He sees you. He knows your pain. He knows you're lonely. He knows exactly what you need. And He's allowing this, not bringing it on you, but allowing this to come your way to take you to a higher level. Therefore, look up and see Him. But during the winter season, it may feel like light is absent. But the second thing I want to say is it may feel like God is absent. Winter has a way of hiding God. It blocks my mind from all that I know about the goodness and the power of God. It tries to eradicate all my testimonies about the victories I had with God in my life. The psalmist reminds us God is the God who saves. He says, verse 10 through 12, your wonders, your love, your faithfulness, your righteousness, these attributes of God are somehow blocked by by the person who's going through winter, by that person's personal winter circumstances. Be aware of that. It seems that at every turn there is just more bad news, sorrow, trouble, losses, marriage falling apart, kids go moving away, God is eclipsed, God is hiding from me. Winter seems to want to hide God. But it can never hide God. And it may even feel that God is pouring His wrath out on you. I was going to go back to my South African wrath, but wrath out on you. Is God mad at me during winter time? What have I done wrong? Job asked that question. God, where are you? My God, Jesus cried. Why have thou forsaken me? A definitive statement that I will always remember. That my winter season cannot make my God disappear. Can I say it again, church? And whenever I go through my winter season cannot make my God disappear. But it feels like in winter that God is absent. And then the third thing I want to say about this winter season, that it may feel like friends are absent. Winter has a way of making us feel that we are alone in this. Going through divorce, losing this, I've lost my job, I was just told I have cancer, but I have to have surgery, and why me? Nobody cares. The psalmist cries, verse 18. The psalmist says, the sons of Korah would say this: "You have taken my companions, my closest friends, and loved ones from me, and replaced them with darkness. Where's everybody in my hour of need? Why do I have to suffer by myself? Why am I abandoned and rejected and isolated from everybody else? Where are my brothers and sisters? Where are my friends?" And I want to say to us that these are the lies of winter. And it can shape our souls and our spiritual condition and say to us, "You're not believing that, are you? That you are friendless? That nobody cares? That people at church pretend they care, but they don't really?" You're not alone. But you see, it feels that. It just feels that. I don't have friends. I don't have the support of people. And I feel unloved, I feel unwanted, I feel unspiritual at this moment. I feel like a spiritual outcast. What have I done, God, to deserve this? And so what we tend to do, is we avoid others, we stay away, we suffer by ourselves, we put ourselves in silence and in the darkness, without anyone being allowed to share our burdens. I have a favorite saying that I picked up a long time ago from a good friend of mine who said this: "That a burden shared is a burden halved." It's in those winter months that we need to share, when we feel down and depressed, and we feel as if no one cares. That you call someone, that you go to someone, that you ask someone to come your way, to sit with you, come hold me, come embrace me, come hug me, come kiss me, come do something, please. Let me share with you what's going on in my life. What stops us sometimes is pride. We want to hold things to ourselves. We don't want people to know our stuff. And you don't share your burdens in the winter season, and that is to your deficit. And then we say, "I don't have friends, I don't have anybody." And then the final thing I want to say is that the winter season feels like life is absent. Verse 3 to 5, the psalmist would say, "My life draws near to death. I might as well be dead, basically. This is no life. How can I live this way? This is not a life to live." And I'm asking you, have you ever felt this way? Have you ever felt this way? Because this is the lowest point of physical and spiritual desperation. You know, when you look at most trees in winter, it seems so dead. I have an oak tree in my front yard, and it's right now, I mean, last few weeks, it's just going nuts with leaves. Beautiful, healthy, dark, full of leaves. Huge tree. Probably 40 feet high, maybe higher than that. But if you came by my house in December, that thing was empty. Seemed like that tree was going to die. Sometimes winter feels that way, and it seems that way. And it seems that there's no life in that tree. That tree will never come to life again. But we all know it is not the case. Winter can have a way of burying your spiritual life and dreams. But God, your and my God, who created all seasons, has a built-in plan for revival and for new life when He ushers in the new season. It may seem hopeless, it may seem dead, it may seem dark, it may seem things are absent. But God's working His plan in your life and in my life to bring us to a level of new life and new growth and new blooming and new blossoming. If we will only in the center of winter trust Him. Because winter is prep time. And winter is testing time to make us stronger and to bloom even more beautiful when the springtime comes and the summertime arrives. Story, and then I'm going to close up. So John the Baptist is in prison. He's in prison because he denounced the Herod of the day for being immoral, wanting to marry someone that he's not supposed to marry. John is sitting in what I would call in the middle of his winter season. His life can be taken any moment. And while he's in this dark, without light dungeon, he's getting news that Jesus is out there preaching, healing, helping people. And John's sitting in prison thinking, you know, when your mom became pregnant, and she visited my mom, and she entered our home, I leaped for joy. When you started your ministry, I pointed everybody to you and said to them, behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. When I baptized you, the Spirit of God came upon you and pointed to you as being the Son of God. When you called out your disciples, I allowed mine to follow you and become yours. Jesus, where are you now for me? And to John, it seemed like he was absent. He was not available. And so he sends two of his disciples with a question. Ask him, are you really the one? Or should we look for another? He started doubting whether this Jesus, whom he was a forerunner of, was going to come through for him at the crucial moment in his winter season when he was suffering and basically dying in prison. When is he going to show up? He's showing up for the blind. He's showing up for the deaf. He's showing up for those who could not hear. When is he going to show up for me? Sometimes we think that way. And we think he doesn't care. And Jesus sends a message back to John through his disciples to say, Go back to John and tell him what you've seen. The deaf hear, the blind are seeing, the poor of the gospel preached to them. It's basically saying to John, John, I'm not physically going to show up for you. John, I'm not going to have you released from prison. John, I'm not performing a miracle for you. But John, I'm here. I'm here. And John, this is your season, your winter season, because I have something better waiting for you. And we know the rest of the story. He's beheaded. Jesus heard it, knew about it. And we think, that is sad. No, that is glory. Because John went to a better place. Amen? Amen? Some of you this morning may be in that winter season. You're feeling it, tasting it, and you're asking the question, where is Jesus? Where is God? When's he going to show up? He has shown up. He is showing up. And he's saying to you, in your winter season, just trust me. Just trust me.